Brasilia! You want some french fries? Well, at least, well, they're not primitive. I mean, don't you ever watch television? Don't you ever see the movies? They're all the great scientists. Who are all the great doctors, the great scientists, the great inventors?
Well, somebody forgot to tell them in Africa that they're the great doctors and the great scientists.
Well, that's because of racism that they live like that. This is because of racism, this tsunami of racism. This is what has caused this problem.
But this man who told me this is an ultra-liberal, and he said they never change, they never advance. No matter when you go, no matter how many years apart, it's the same. There's no improvements there.
Einstein was a black man. All the great scientists were black men. They try to hide this from us. Thomas Jefferson was a black man. George Washington was a black man. And you know, they're right. There were a lot of great blacks in history that never get credit. King Kong. I mean, you've had a lot of people in history. No, it's true. You never get credit for this. Even people that have educated our children, you know, like McGilla Gorilla. They never get credit for all the great people in history who are great people. And it's terrible. I mean, it's just not fair. No, because we're civil rights leaders. We happen to be civil rights leaders. And because we're civil rights leaders, we want to straighten the record out. There's nothing wrong with that. You have to correct the record. I mean, you can't have a situation where people don't know the facts. And they had all the great universities, all the great learning centers, all the doo-doo huts, all the great learning centers. You know, they've had great universities and great centers of learning. Today, they're all dying of AIDS. And you know, and they all demand that the white scientists give them the medicine for the AIDS, because otherwise they're going to die. But that confuses me, because I thought black scientists are so brilliant. Why don't they invent their own medicine for AIDS? I never understood that. I don't know. Sometimes I get confused. As an enlightened, progressive civil rights leader, sometimes I get confused. Sometimes it's just difficult to discern between all of the different things that I hear. Yeah, I saw, speaking of French fries, I don't know why I have French fries on my mind, because I'm on the bus coming back from someplace. I happened to be there. I was on a Greyhound bus, believe it or not, coming back from someplace. And this woman comes on the bus. I have never seen anything like this in my life. I've never seen anything like, I didn't know that they had talk about jumbo portions. I mean, like 3 zillion French fries. I mean, she must have eaten 20% of the potatoes in the state of Idaho that day. First of all, she couldn't sit on the bus. She was so heavy, she could not sit. There was not enough room for her to sit on the bus. So, of course, she has to sit next to me. Of all people, she has to sit next to me. This always happens to me. You know, maybe because I'm thin, she figured there'd be enough room to squish me in. You know, to squish next to me. Maybe because I'm thin. But, you know, I get crushed by these people. I mean, it's just terrible. I mean, it's just horrible. Anyway, so she's on the bus, and she comes on with the French fries. She pulls out the French fries, and I don't know. I have never seen this before. Maybe I'm missing something. People eat mayonnaise with French fries? I mean, I didn't understand. She takes out the mayonnaise, and she's putting mayonnaise. I thought you used ketchup on French fries. I didn't know that you use mayonnaise. I guess you can use mayonnaise too. I guess, right? I guess it's, you know, in certain places it's usable.
I'm losing my appetite.
She's putting the mayonnaise on. Oh yeah. You know, and she's going on, and this is, you know, and then she said, and all of a sudden she says, "Brasilia, you want some French fries? Brasilia." Her name was Brasilia. I mean, where'd she get a name Brasilia? So Brasilia come forward. She said, "Oh, I'll take some, yeah. Oh, you look like you got plenty anyway. Oh, yeah, girl, I'll take some French fries." So she takes some French fries, and the two of them are eating it, and they're dipping it in this puddle of mayonnaise, of white goo, you know, and it's just, I mean, unbelievable. It's just absolutely unbelievable. You know, and I happen to have some I won't say. I had some glue on me. You know, some of the glue, you know, glue that you could put. I was going to put some of that in the... No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that in their mayonnaise when they're not looking so that they would eat the glue. You know, I wouldn't do that. You know, then they'd be going... You know, they wouldn't be able to open their mouths anymore. You know, that would be terrible. Think of what humanity, what a loss to humanity that would be if they couldn't open their big traps anymore to eat more food, from all the honkies who give them all their welfare money so that they could be sitting on the bus. Well, I'm sitting on the front of the bus now, and I'll be eating my mayonnaise and French fries. It's delicious. Brazila, you want some too? And you can't do anything. I wanted to read. I didn't bother anybody. I'm sitting minding my own business, and you want to read something, you can't read. They scream on the top of their lungs and woo-hoo-hoo, oh God, that's funny. Screaming with dirty language and screaming and carrying on. Spitting their French fries all over the bus. And it's just,
When they finish, they get that licking sound from licking all the grease off their fingers.
That I didn't that I didn't notice. Their paws, you mean? No, that I actually didn't notice, but, it was, I'll tell you, I was happy that we're eating the French fries because it's unhealthy. It's full of cholesterol and it's nice and unhealthy, and hopefully they'll relieve us of at least one more,
Brazila.
one more big payment, I think, in my opinion, these are individuals that should be, instead of being in the housing projects are inhumane. They belong in a pound. They belong in the pound. Wouldn't that be more humane? What do you do in the pound when you have an animal that just can't, Anyway, whatever. But, the bottom line is, it's not pleasant. It's not, as they once said in a Mexican movie, he's nothing nice. It's just not pleasant. It's just, what can I tell you? But of course, we don't have to worry about any of that. And, and now in New York, I see these people wearing those silly sombreros.
That's going to be the majority soon. I wouldn't call it silly sombreros.
Yeah, well,
we're all going to be wearing
instead
them.
of wearing the hats we wear on this show, we're going to have to wear sombreros pretty soon. We'll all wear the sombrero. Bush wears a sombrero. You've seen Bush with the sombrero.
Well, didn't he take the signs, "Don't mess with Texas," down when he was the governor, put up the sombrero?
Yeah, well, listen, you have to accommodate people, and they want to swallow up Texas, and he feels that they should swallow up Texas like they're swallowing up a burrito. So, this is, listen, that's, in your heart, we're right. And in your guts, they're nuts. You see, VJA, that's the tax-exempt organization that supports, it's called Voice of Jewish Activism. It's tax-exempt, it's non-political, supports the educational activities of the movement. And there's JTF, which is political, so it's not tax-exempt. Support those who are telling the truth, support those who stand for the truth. Do what must be done, because we still can save America and Israel. Shalom.
Good night.